So if you have a loved one that has been charged with a domestic battery in St. Petersburg, Clearwater, the surrounding areas of Pinellas County, there's 5 things that you absolutely need to know right out of the gate. Number 1, after this person gets booked into the jail, they will not immediately have a bond. In Florida, if someone gets arrested for a domestic battery, there's a statute that says that they have to be held without bond until they see a judge. The second thing that you need to know is that it's very, very common that the judge will order conditions of release. They often order no contact with the victim. They'll order no going to that person's place of work or home. They'll order no firearms. And they take these things very seriously. If you contact the victim after a no contact order has been put in place, not only could it result in your bond getting revoked on the original domestic battery charge, but it can even lead to an additional charge of violation of pretrial release. Number 3, there's a common misconception that the victim can simply drop the charge. That's not the case. The state attorney is the entity that has the decision-making power as to who gets charged and what they get charged with. Now, they're going to take the victim's opinions about whether or not a person should be prosecuted into consideration, but just know that the victim alone does not have the authority to drop the charge. Number 4, if the court has ordered no contact, that doesn't mean that the client can never have contact with the person again. There's just a right way to get contact back. And the method that we use is by filing a motion to modify pretrial release to allow for contact. So if you contact our office to get us involved in a domestic battery case, we'll file a written motion with the court asking that the court modify the conditions of pretrial release. A hearing will be set. Both the defendant and the victim need to be present for the hearing so that the judge can hear from both people. Number 5, potentially the most important thing to remember, just because someone got arrested for a domestic battery offense, that does not necessarily mean that the state is going to file the charge. One of the greatest tools that we have as defense attorneys is early intervention with the prosecutor. So if a client gets us involved early enough, we can intervene with the prosecutor before any formal filing is made and ask the prosecutor to not file the charges. We can point out mitigation. We can point out different factual scenarios where there's different versions of events between the parties. The only way that the prosecutor is going to learn about these things is if a lawyer presents those arguments to the prosecutor. So getting a lawyer involved early is very important in this process. And that is 5 things that you should know about a domestic battery arrest in Pinellas County.